Welcome to Green Ball Extra. I'm Craig Easdown, and with the Test Triangle Inter-Provincial Series approaching fast and the squads now released, we're going to have a chat to the four head coaches. And today it's the turn of Northern Knights head coach, Simon Johnston. Welcome, Simon.
Hi, Craig. Thanks for having me.
Now, before we get on to the Knights and the season ahead, why don't we start with a bit about yourself? What sort of player were you back in the day?
Not a very good one, as most people will tell you. I played underage, sort of Irish levels and things like that there, but it was pretty clear when I got to about 19, I was just going to be a distinctly average club cricketer. So not very illustrious like that, but even at that sort of age, even when I was still playing, I was always thinking about coaching, so it was probably a good thing in the end.
You've been coaching in the Northern Cricket Union and Cricket Island set up since about a decade ago. I'm club coach at Waringstown, and I note you were Cricket Island Coach of the Year 2014, 2015, and you're the head coach of the Knights now. What attracted you to coaching initially?
My father. I grew up in a household with, a cricket coach. He was Irish head coach for a while, and then he did the under-19s head coach for a number 15 plus years. And I was always around coaching. I was the little, the P5, P6 kid who was picking up the tennis balls and the cones. So I was always in and around coaching. So I think, it was definitely from my dad, and that's where I got the love of it from.
And given your time in coaching and your experience of having your dad as a coach, I mean, what to your mind, makes a good coach?
I would get a lot of money if I knew the answer to that. Well, one, wear sunscreen when you're coaching all day. That would be the first thing. Investment from you as a person, I think that's big. Time, effort. I think at every level I've seen, a really good coach's passion for it, and that comes across. The players can sense that. At the level I'm at now, empathy. And then again, at all age levels, if you can, make it fun, make it challenging, and again, it's different and it's hard at the lower levels, but again, definitely the level I'm at the minute, get to know what makes your players really tick, not just what you think, but really get to know them as much as you can. I probably learn more over a coffee with the guys than I do on the cricket pitch. So that would be, to me, that's what I think good coach does.
I'm interested to read that you said when looking for inspiration for coaching or ideas for coaching, you often looked outside cricket, so say tennis or basketball coaches. I mean, what are some of the things outside cricket you brought to cricket, for instance?
Oh, well, look, one of my jobs, I was cricket development officer for 4 or 5 years in Belfast, sort of like inner city Belfast. And I was in an office with 20 other coaches from 15 other sports. And that is hands down where I, in my opinion, learned how to coach. I had all my coaching levels up to level 3, but I had technical knowledge from those, but actually learning how to coach has totally come from working with those coaches in other sports. I think one thing I would be good at is I always want to get better. I'll hope or trying to get better anyway. And I always try to learn from every coach, even if I go and watch my son or whatever playing and the coaches, I try to learn, from them, and little things you'd be amazed what you can pick up. And definitely there was sort of there's definitely a light bulb moment for me when I was working in that environment, where I was very lucky to work with one tennis coach one year, and he's still to this day the best technical coach I think I've ever seen in any sport. And how he got it across the group of P7s was, I was like, wow, that's different gravy. And I remember saying I would love my son or daughter to play, they'd learn tennis from him. Right. And then he left and another tennis coach came along, and he did it completely differently. I remember thinking to myself, with basically near enough the same age and same group, and I thought to myself, I would love my son or daughter to learn tennis from him. Mm-hmm. One would have been brilliant technically, and the other one, as I say, completely different in his own way. It was all about fun and enjoyment. And it was just, I was kind of blown away by that. And I thought to myself, well, that says a lot. What I have to learn in terms of being I call it chameleon, and adapting to different, groups. Mm-hmm. And that was something I hadn't done before. I was very much one way of doing things. But that would be my big learning from that. And then the universal thing, which I think is the key to coaching, is language, and how you use language across to your players. So I think if you just stay in cricket circles, it's all cricket language. But I think sometimes from the other sports, it's the same message, just a completely different way of saying it, which I think is, very good.
You must have been pleased to see the Interpros announced, of course, but have you had many training sessions with the squad yet?
No, look, I'm sure very like a lot of other people, I was in furlough. So, it's extraordinary circumstances, and I've only sort of been back part-time a couple of weeks, and this week's my first time back full-time. So no, not many at all. Like, just one-to-ones, a lot of one-to-ones again because of COVID and things like that there. But sort of this week, for the next 2 weeks, we'll have sort of 3 or 4 sessions a week. So hopefully that's as much as we can do, in today's climate.
Another thing I'm interested in is when you started the role in 2017 at the Knights, you talked about creating a Knights culture and team ethic. So, kind of in your own words, what does that mean in terms of what you do with the squad, and have you achieved it, or is it still a work in progress? Or
yeah, well, I remember I said ethos, and I remember actually got misquoted and they said culture.
oh, right.
Because if anybody knows me, I have a big issue with the word culture because I think it gets thrown about an awful lot.
Right.
I think unless you are the All Blacks or Yorkshire County Cricket Club, if you don't have history and you don't have tradition and you don't have sort of shared experiences, I think it's very hard to create a culture. But I know it's a slight play on words, but I think you can create an ethos and a mantra of the way you want to play, or what your sort of brand of cricket is and what you're looking to do with the organisation. And like when I came in, there's lots of guys from different environments. We had a couple of contracted cricketers, with a lot of semi-amateur guys, with a lot of professionals who were playing, and then normal club players. So it was like, when we're in this environment, this is what you play for, and we're all as one. And then the big thing was, where we've got to now is, after 3 years, is I want everybody who puts on a Knights shirt to play as well as they can for the Knights, because they actually want to go above the Knights and they want to play for Ireland. And I remember actually saying it in my interview for the job to John Bracewell, who was the head coach at the time, if in 4 or 5 years, if the Knights are producing or helping to produce Irish cricketers, well, to me, that's what inter-provincial cricket's for. So I'm pleased that that's where we get to. We've had, over the past 18 months, 9 guys capped or recapped, which is just something we haven't had in ages, and that's credit to the guys and the work they've put in. But to me, I want everybody who puts on this shirt giving 110%, but wanting to put in performances to go to the next level.
Particularly from 2018 to 2019 on the field, the results were quite notable in improvements. What do you put that down to?
Look, a lot of hard work from a lot of people behind the scenes and in the union. Players first. I mean, I can't praise them enough. Anything I ask them to do, they do it. They normally do extra on their own. But again, there's no secret. When we started this 3 years ago, we wanted to have more Irish players, because, quite simply, if you have more Irish players, there's more professional players in your outfit, and you're hoping that they'll bring your team on and bring everyone else around them on. And that's exactly what's happened. We've got a lot more guys contracted, or a lot more guys close to getting contracted, and therefore their quality is up, quite simply because they're professional cricketers. And then, so from us, where, as I said, starting at the first year where we were a mixture of a lot of different things, now we've got more contracted guys than not. And again, it's not rocket science. When you have better players, your team's going to be better.
And last year, of course, you won the T20 title. I mean, what should we expect from the Knights this year, and maybe who should we look out for?
T20 wise, I'm hoping for the same thing. I think we played really aggressive cricket, but the key thing was, and a lot of credit to Gary Wilson for this, we played smart cricket. We adapted really, really quickly, and I would be looking for us to kick on and do the same again with that. T20 wise, I think you've seen Harry Tector's gone on to a different level at the minute. I would love to see him and Mark Adair and those guys just continue to do what they're doing. I'm excited that some of our senior players, there's certainly nothing to prove, but you have a few guys who either were over in England and didn't do anything, or just missed out. Who, I say, there's nothing to prove because they're actually quality players, but you can see a wee bit of fire in their eyes, So I'm excited about that. And then a massive plus for us is Jacob Mulder's completely recovered from his back injury, and we know how critical leg spin is in T20 cricket. So I'm excited to see how he goes.
As part of your head coach role, you're actually a national selector as well. I mean, you must find that part quite pleasing at this stage with the progress of the national squad.
Yeah, look, I personally find the job really tough. I'm absolutely passionate about Irish cricket, and I love doing it, and I understand the responsibility. But it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. Not so much for us, but for Andrew White, the chairman of selectors. and 40 the head coach. And it's like you're a player, you feel everything, you know, you feel the ups and downs and everything. The one thing I will say is I'll give massive credit to 40 and Whitey. Like, they put together a long-term, medium-term, short-term plan a couple of years ago. And, you know, we're working our way through it really nicely. And look, so far so good. We're not going to get everything right. And, you know, we're good, but hopefully we'll get a lot more right than we get wrong. But yeah, that last performance now over in the Rose Bowl was, yeah, fantastic. And everybody had a big smile on their face, I think, in the country after that.
And finally, a question I'm asking each of the coaches: if you could have a former Irish cricketer from another generation playing in their prime in your current Northern Knights squad, who would you choose and why?
I know who I would choose. I have to choose something different. So I have to choose Ryan Eggleston for no other reason than I get to coach him and boss him. Now I'm talking about the Ryan Eggleston that was the tearaway fast bowler who could bat, not the guy who currently old man who bowls off spin. But I would really like Ryan Eggleston because, like, obviously a good friend of mine, and plus I would love it if I got to coach him one time. I could boss him about.
What better reason? What better reason? Well, thank you very much. That's a very short visit to the North, but thank you for joining me, Simon.
Okay, thanks a lot, Craig.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Farewell for now.
Cheers.